All right, good morning, everybody. Thanks for being with us. I'm Joy Lim Nackern here with Don Shipman for our segment called In Case You Missed It. So good to see you here, Don.
Good to see you as well. Good morning.
Good morning. So what did we miss?
Okay, so I wanted to kind of focus in on a couple different things. One, Usher, and then two, we're going to talk about the holidays. But let's start with Usher because Usher finally making his way to Atlanta. You may remember that his concert, it got postponed, not canceled, but postponed. Well, now it is here in Atlanta at State Farm, all happening starting tonight. So Usher returning to Atlanta, and then look at this. We have some video. Georgia's own credit union welcoming him back. Take a look what it says right there. Welcome to A-Town right there on the top of the building. That's huge, right? This week, Usher will perform 3 shows, all happening at State Farm Arena. Tonight's show was supposed to originally be in August, but he had to postpone because he suffered some sort of neck injury. So hopefully he is all ready to go, and he'll be able to perform perfectly for his show starting tonight at State Farm Arena. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about this too because we have our Christmas decorations. We want to make sure that we get the house all decorated. Some people start before Thanksgiving. Some people
very
wait.
Enthusiastic.
It's very polarizing if you start before Thanksgiving or after.
That's true.
But you want to be safe at the same time.
For
and
sure.
we have some incredible video to show you. And we kind of show this as newspaper readers, show this to our viewers. But look at the way it's set up with a split screen here. 2 different Christmas trees right here. One Christmas tree has water in it in the base, and the other one does not. The one that does not, on the right-hand side of your screen, it engulfs in flames, but not just the tree. Look at the ceiling as well.
Wow.
But the other one, it doesn't engulf in flames. So it's something to really keep in mind that if you have a real tree, you got to make sure that you're keeping it watered, you're paying attention to those lights, and if you have those old-fashioned, which I love them, those old-fashioned big bulbed lights, those can run extremely hot. So the Consumer Product Safety Commission just wants you to be really mindful of that, making sure that you're buying the proper Christmas lights for your tree, the ones that say, I think it's URL on it. And then also, if you're purchasing an artificial tree, you got to make sure you're paying attention to that too, making sure that it is fire resistant, for example.
Oh
those are
my
things
goodness,
just to keep
I didn't
in
even
mind.
think of that. So when you were off the top telling me about showing me the video of the real tree catching on fire, I was like, well, that makes me feel less lazy for having an artificial tree.
Exactly. But still, keep in mind, we all love those big, like, colorful bulbs. Those older ones, maybe you bought it at a garage sale. A good idea, even if they're still working, to maybe discard those.
That's true.
Purchase the new ones that are LED. They're still the big bulbs. You'll still get that vibe going.
Yeah.
But they're going to be a lot safer. They're going to run a lot cooler. So that's really important.
Really good point. Thank you for telling us that.
And then also, it is tree lighting day at the state capitol. So we have some video from last year when they did this, and it was a beautiful tree that they do each and every year. Today, the tree lighting is going to be taking place right there at the state capitol here in Atlanta at 1:30. The governor, the first lady, along with their daughters, other Georgia leaders will be there, and special guests to light the Georgia State Capitol Christmas tree. And again, that's getting underway at 1:30
so beautiful.
this afternoon.
Isn't that gorgeous?
It is beautiful.
I mean,
it is really, really beautiful. I don't know all the specs on the tree. You know how we always learn like all the specs
what
on
kind
the
of
Rockefeller
tree it is, how big it is,
where it came from. You know, I don't have all that information. Hopefully, we'll learn more at 1:30 with the tree lighting.
Oh, that's a good point. See, I'm glad I didn't ask you that. I hadn't thought of that. Like, oh, how tall is it until you mentioned it. But you know what? We'll find out.
We will. So that's what you missed.
Well, thank you so much, Don. And here's another talker. I find it really interesting. Golf carts could soon be coming to the streets of Marietta. So this is interesting. This is a question that city leaders are asking with some mixed early reaction. Some people think it's a great idea. Some people think it's a terrible idea. Atlanta News first reporter Josh Skinner has more on the plan and also the limitations.
It is inarguably the best time of year in Marietta Square.
I love how homegrown it feels.
And in future years, you might see golf carts perusing the square, whether you like it
I bet it would be convenient for the people that live close.
or not.
I don't want to see golf carts in Marietta.
The Marietta Public Safety Committee opened discussions last week on the possibility of permitting golf carts in parts of the city. That revs the electric engine of David Kligfeld, owner of nearby Kliggy's Carts, who has seen demand surge in recent years.
Big market for residential neighborhoods.
But as Peachtree City can attest, driving around the neighborhood is different from sauntering up to the square, and that's where logistics and regulations come into play.
They would have to do a whole bunch of infrastructure to make roads specifically designed to keep the cars away from the carts. Because there's a lot of people that are menaces with their vehicles.
The Marietta Police Department said as much in a recent presentation to the council. Carts have to operate on roads 25 miles per hour or less, and they can't get on state routes or highways.
I think they're very dangerous. I know several people that have had serious accidents.
And then there's the parking challenge.
Parking is already kind of tricky around here, so that would probably be something to look into.
But look into is where the city council is at, with an open mind.
I think they want to get away from gas, cars, the fumes.
Joshua Skinner, Atlanta News First.
All right, you know what? We all know that holiday shopping season is in full swing. You've probably been doing a little bit of shopping yourself. Well, Atlanta police have a warning for you to make sure that your purchases are protected. Of course, you know, there is a big rise in thefts this year related to holiday shopping. I mean, this time of year, I should say. Officers tell Atlanta News First reporter Brittany Ford that they're already seeing a lot of thefts of opportunity.
Christmas shopping season is in full swing.
Coming to get a few things for my mother. One of them is I guess a home appliance, so to speak.
If you're shopping for pricey items at Lenox Mall or electronics at stores like Best Buy.
Trying to figure out which one because they're a little pricey.
It's unfortunately also a time where thieves are looking to capitalize.
I kind of dashed in my car just to make sure that everything was going to be fine. You know, because if somebody sees a MacBook, you know, they may be tempted to come after it.
Atlanta police are warning people to stay vigilant.
We do see that uptick this month, running from store to store and leaving things in plain view. We see electronics stolen this time of year, purses taken from cars.
And it's not just for gifts. Authorities say thieves are also targeting cars left running due to the cold weather.
Just this last week, I had 4 vehicles stolen in Southwest Atlanta because the car was warmed up.
Police say being aware and reporting suspicious activity.
If you see something, say something.
Are steps that can save you from the Grinches out there this holiday season.
It kind of dampens the spirit a little bit, but I try to let it, you know, I try to be safe.
I got eyes in the front and back of my head. I'm always cautious.
Brittany Ford, Atlanta News First.
And, you know, also this holiday season, the city of Atlanta is really encouraging neighbors to make sure that everybody has a home this holiday season. And Atlanta News First reporter Patrick Quinn shares what's being done and Atlanta's big goal before Christmas to help the unhoused.
Take a walk with Mayor Andre Dickens through Atlanta's newest housing complex.
I have this exact same towel in my shower in my house.
23 units fully furnished, yes, with a shower and a bed, a stove, in the heart of Atlanta for those who need it most, like Richard, who's formerly homeless.
Everyone deserves to have a place to live.
The city will open 3 more complexes just like this by Christmas for those chronically homeless.
And when you see these ribbon cuttings of 23 and 35 and 65, they add up.
But in a growing metro with continued economic strain on the working class, Mayor Dickens called on regional leaders to follow the city's lead.
We actually end up housing people that are not always from the city. So we want to make sure that regionally across North Georgia that you all do as we are doing.
Up the road in Decatur, DeKalb County leaders apparently were listening.
The need is so great. Housing affordability is at a crisis level.
I sat down with DeKalb CEO Michael Thurman, who just announced the county is investing $13 million in 7 community nonprofits aimed at reducing homelessness and preventing evictions.
$13 million is a big number, but really, if you compare it to the challenge we face, it's relatively small, but we're just happy, actually blessed, to be able to stand in the gap, not just on this very cold day, but on cold days that will be coming throughout this winter.
In DeKalb and central Atlanta.
This is clutch right here. You have a washer dryer in your unit.
A winter push to help those unhoused find shelter and support.
To let them know, number one, that we care, and number two, that they are not alone in trying to overcome these challenges.
Patrick Quinn, Atlanta News First.
And more on that and all of our top stories on atlantanewsfirst.com, or also by downloading our free mobile news app where you can sign up to get updates sent right to your phone, and also our weather app. And again, we are in a first alert weather day today as well as tomorrow and the next day. So that's another thing that's really helpful, and you can see our hour by hour forecast there. For now, back to Local News Live. Thanks for joining us.